right, Derby fans, welcome to the inaugural edition of Inside Arch. My name's Muckety Muck, and during this pandemic, we thought it would be a good idea to keep you up to date with the going-ons and the activities that's involved with arch rival roller derby. And I guess you could say for this first episode, we should kind of have a state of the league. And I guess it should be pretty much a given that we would have the person that sits on the upper management of arch rival roller derby. We want to welcome to the program the president of arch rival roller derby, Zombie. How are you doing tonight, Zom?
I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm at home. Imagine that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, these are tough times, not just for Derby, but for life in general, because everybody's just trying to figure out how things are going to operate, how things are going to progress in life. And it just seemed like it was just a big blur not all that long ago that we were actively out there skating, participating, and being a part of a full local campaign. And then boom, it just kind of hit us all together. I guess in terms of the board of directors and talking about how things were going to progress with the league, this group, this board of directors were actually kind of paying close attention to the coronavirus and the outbreak and the pandemic when it wasn't really highly populated here in this area. But take us kind of back. When did the BOD start looking at COVID-19 and how it could affect the league?
Well, as far as COVID-19, I think most of us who are on the BOD have professions that kind of keep us in the know of public health issues. So once, that first week of March, it was kind of a whirlwind week where, we had our first case in St. Louis City and then eventually St. Louis County. And so around the 11th of March is when we really started thinking about doing some internal planning. We still had the bout that was on March 21st, which was just a mere less than 2 weeks away, that we had to start to think about how we were going to organize everything. So if we were still going to even have it, for that matter.
So why was it important for Arch Rival to be very proactive while this was going on? And not only in terms of, protecting the fans and the volunteers that were coming out to events at Quinny Park, but also for the skaters that were competing and practicing at its practice facility in St. Louis. Why be so proactive?
Well, we needed to be proactive because, like we stated earlier, it was a daily change. There was always something new going on in the area, whether it be locally or recommendations from WIFTA. So we were trying to stay ahead of it to make sure everyone was safe as far as our skaters, fans, and the community in general, that we were doing our part.
We are taping this on April 24th, and I know it seems like we are always hearing continuous updates on a national level as to restrictions, and some even being lifted in certain cases. But what's the current status for Arch Rival Roller Derby? We kind of know how things are shaping up for the city and the county, but what's the operations look like right now on Arch Rival's end?
Right now, I know I'm checking daily. I'm a little bit obsessed with it. But we're definitely, as the BOD, checking in weekly, seeing what we need to tweak. We do set dates where there are goals to get started, just like the entire nation is doing. And we're just kind of tailoring it to that. We're just trying to go with the flow as much as we can. And that way we can make informed decisions. That way we can move forward in a safe way.
It's hard to peg particular dates because it seems like the goalposts are always being moved on us here.
Right.
We've seen other sports, whether it's football or basketball or hockey or indoor football, we've seen them all be impacted. And in some cases, such as the XFL, they've even folded all together as a result. But this doesn't seem to be the case for Arch. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're not competing right now, but our setup is a little bit different. We don't have to count on a national governing body to still operate. So really, I guess folks are wondering, is Arch going to be okay while this is going on?
The thing about Arch is that we have been in the community for 15 years, and we do have a strong fan base. And with that, what's unique about us is that we do have 4 local competitive teams. So we don't have the barriers of travel or really looking for a team who doesn't have a conflicting schedule. We have it all in-house. So that way we can kind of move seamlessly once we get the green light to get started again.
Although the league cannot participate in practices and scrimmages right now, there's still ways for members to stay engaged and involved. What have you been hearing about how skaters are still trying to stay active at this time?
Well, with all the changes, gyms are closed, rinks are closed. Initially, we were doing our own kind of private workouts, whatever would fit in with our schedules or lack thereof. But eventually, the coaching committee they got together and they designed an online practice, which we can all tune into twice a week. And it's being well received, and that way we still have that social engagement that we all need, and also it helps us stay in shape. So that way when we're coming back, we haven't been laying on the sofa watching Netflix for 2 months and jumping out there again.
Guilty. Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Before we let you go, Zombie, and we thank you very much for joining us today, I guess, how has this pandemic affected you? We know about how it's affected you derby-wise, but just functioning through life, how has this affected you personally?
Well, I am in the medical field, so if anything, life got crazier in its own way. Where most people who are in, say, the restaurant industry or other industries, things either their jobs were gone or slowed down. If anything, it really picked up for us. We're doing more triage, where we're trying to keep people out of urgent cares and out of the emergency room, so that way they can work on the more pressing symptoms and things that are going on in the world right now. So things have gotten really busy at work. And as far as Derby is concerned, being on the BOD, you never really leave Derby.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On the business side of things, we're still doing all of the red tape and all that fun stuff.
And it is fun, yes.
It is fun. It has its moments, but yeah.
Before we let you go, any final message to ARG Nation, to the fan base, to the skaters?
ARG Nation.
Yes.
I just want to thank the league, our sponsors who have supported us, the fans, our families. And I just want everyone to remember that slogan. What we've been saying is that we're all in this together, and we will be back.
Zombie, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out from a very busy schedule to talk about the future of the league, which is kind of unknown right now, but we know we will be back, right?
We will be back.
All right. Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about Arch Rival Roller Derby, you can visit one of these social media platforms. And of course, we will keep you up to date with all the information that's upcoming for Arch Rival Roller Derby. Next time on Inside Arch, well, we are in the middle of a very important and successful local campaign when the pandemic all first started. We will reflect, at least on part of it, next time right here on Inside Arch. For everybody here at Arch Rival Roller Derby, my name's Mike and Muck, and thank you for supporting Roller Derby in St. Louis.